Namaste, beautiful yogis. A quick, hopefully, postpartum talk because I'm now 3.5 months postpartum, and I have found that our society, in these were comments and discussions I've had with some other moms, our society nowadays is not built in a way to support a woman during this time of her life. So a lot of us are navigating through this on our own, maybe with a little bit of help, but not with a strong community help. And that's why I built the 30-day postpartum challenge and now postpartum classes, because that gives you a little bit of support. It is not easy for a new mom to go through all these changes, especially if you're a first-time mom, on your own. And a lot of us are on our own because we live far from family, our communities are broken, and so forth. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, especially if you're a new mom just right now giving birth and you're laying in bed or breastfeeding and watching YouTube, to be mindful of every emotion you have. Right now you're an open, vibrating woman, femininity. You're just blossoming femininity, and there is a lot of emotion that it is up to you to channel either in this direction or in that direction. It could be, if you're not careful, depression, and if you are very mindful, you can channel it into feeling the ecstatic bliss of birth and after birth of that period. So when I first gave birth, I found myself floating in between worlds, because it is a very, very, very spiritual event. Giving birth is a very spiritual event. You are bringing a soul which is still not in the physical. You have built a physical body, and that soul is coming into that physical body that you have built through you. So if you think about it, it can give you chills if you deeply understand what it is to give birth. And it's such a spiritual event that if you don't have the time to process the events and the feelings of that event, to process the emotion and the message of this event, you can end up with depression, because there is so much unprocessed intensity. That's why I'm doing this talk, to just kind of give you extra support, besides the fitness and the yoga classes, to just give you sit down chit chat videos, especially when you're breastfeeding and just kind of wanting to go deep and in a meditative way listen to someone. So in the days after birth and during giving birth, but in the days after birth, I was elated. I was floating between worlds, and I had no need to rush back. I wanted to stay in that place because there was such profound beauty in it. We're not talking happy, haha, light joy. No, intense, profound. I wouldn't even call it happiness or joy, because it was beyond that. It's so intense. It's intense joy, and I want you to pause and feel it, because it will pass. It will pass, but you can carry a lot of aspects of this place with you. So take your time, allow yourself to give yourself that time to soak in the energy and to contemplate, but also gently guide yourself towards growing and learning, rather than getting depressed and overwhelmed, because it's up to you. Of course, your environment matters and your support system matters, but ultimately you are the one that holds the key to how you feel in your hands, and you have to empower yourself with that. So I hope I'm not being very vague when you talk about spiritual aspects of things. It's usually a vague subject, but I also wanted to touch upon that because I haven't heard many people talk about it. So I was in this in-between worlds. I just wanted to be in my cave with my baby and just float in my world, because if you think about it, your body or your soul steps out to navigate this other soul to come into this world, And that's actually a Native American concept, and I'm sure there is concepts in different spiritual traditions or traditional societies. So in the Native American is the woman's soul goes to the stars to bring a star down, and I think because it's such a spiritual event and the soul actually travels out, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. That's why probably in the past there was so many maternal deaths. 1 out of 10 led to maternal births, led to maternal death, because it's such a spiritual event and the soul is in such a tender place, but also such a profound place for growth. This is one of your greatest opportunities to grow, to discover more about yourself, about your femininity, to discover more about letting go, to discover more about unconditional love, to discover more about the closest to divine love you will come on earth. So be mindful, be aware. There is moments when you will feel overwhelmed, different fears and anxieties will come about, and also the very first days of birth, you're so out of it that remind yourself that when you're out of it, that you are out of it, so you're aware of that. Don't take things personally, don't overthink things, don't judge things, don't try not to fear, just try not to nurture fears, try to just stay in the joy of this and to soak into that, in the presence of that new soul that has entered your life, and they have this innocent purity with them, and it's such a profound feeling. So sometimes we're overwhelmed and we miss the feeling of it, but I'm sure if you're listening to this video, you're already into the spirituality of birth, so you're probably basking in it, and that's just reinforcing to pause and feel the joy of it. It was probably the most joyous feeling ever, and I just wanted to talk pretty much about that, because I know that it's the tenderness of the period is very important to navigate in the direction of joy and in the direction of selfless love and growth. And another thing is, for me and for other women that I've talked to, for most women, pregnancy and birth is a time of letting go. Letting go is the biggest thing you can do for your growth. And I just finished a workout, so that's why I'm sweaty. Letting go is one of the biggest lessons within self-growth, and pregnancy is such a time for letting go, because we're letting go of a lot of things we used to be, and a lot of things we associate it with, and there is an in-between period when we don't know what will be, and it will be probably greater, but we still step into the unknown. And the lesson is to actually let go and trust without knowing. That's the lesson, because you're going to become a greater you, a greater version of you, a new greater you. And you can be your best guide here. Mindfulness is your teacher. Awareness, mindfulness. If you find yourself laying in bed, lay and observe the moment. Observe the moment with joy. You have so much time to breastfeed or to bottle feed your baby, so while you're doing that, just contemplate the moment and bask in its joy. I was so brought to tears the first month, and it was tears of, it's something like, I don't think there is a word in English. If there is a word, post it below. It's not happiness, because it's beyond it. It's the intense form of happiness where you're just, your whole body, every cell in your body is basking in that intense profoundness, in that intense profound emotion. And it will pass, so stay in it and soak it all in, because it's part of your growth, and you don't want to rush through it. You don't want to rush and go back and meet with people and just breathe it all in while you can, and also remind yourself that you will go back to your life, maybe a new version of your life, but you go back to the mundane. In these first few moments of after birth, you're just so disconnected from the mundane. You just went through something, birth, death, and giving birth. Those are the three most major events that are us stepping in and out of this place of this earth. We are stepping in and out of this dimension. So you just went through an out-of-body experience, and now your body is healing, and there is all this intense pain of healing, and your body is rebuilding itself. Lay a lot, pray or connect with the divine or connect with your baby, and just remind yourself that you navigate your emotions. You can choose to be joyous every day, and to be thankful, and to be grateful, and that being grateful generally sets you up for being happy. So that's about it. I have had also intense moments when I have not been supported in my emotions. So my friends were missing and so forth, weren't there for me, I mean. But that's okay, because we learn to be our greatest support system, and we grow stronger, and we learn how to navigate through our emotions without giving into them, and to see what is a true emotion rather than just an illusionary mind stuff. I hope this talk is helping some of you. If you want more of those, let me know, and I will post a few more before all of this is all forgotten and in the past. It's still fresh for me. The support is here, your support is here, but also there is a communal support. It's not every woman is not going to understand you. That was my experience. Most women, actually, even most friends will not understand you, but there will be just few and far in between, but there will be some support out there. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Namaste.